All right, let's jump into it. Time for another deep dive, and this time we're taking a look at Captain America, Brave New World. And we've got some brand new articles just came out today. January 17th, 2025 from Screen Rant and Screen Crush. So if you're like me and you're super hyped for this movie, or even if you just want to know what all the buzz is about, then stick with us. We're going to break it all down.
Yeah, this is going to be a really interesting one. Because we're not just talking about another sequel here.
Yeah.
This is Anthony Mackie's first time really taking the lead as Captain America on the big screen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we saw him take on the Shield in Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney+, but this is like his official, movie debut as Captain America. So what do you think? Can he step out of Chris Evans' shadow and make the role his own?
I think this is such a pivotal moment for the MCU. It's about legacy, passing the torch, exploring new stories, and potentially even reflecting some real-world themes of change and representation. Yeah. It's a lot to carry. But I think Mackie has the talent and charisma to pull it off.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll be interesting to see what he does with it. But It sounds like he's going to have his work cut out for him. Because one of the challenges he's facing is a pretty familiar face, but with a bit of a twist. Harrison Ford is joining the MCU as Thunderbolt Ross. But he's not just playing the general, he's becoming the Red Hulk.
Whoa. Yeah, that's right. For those who might not be as familiar with the comics, Red Hulk is basically like the Hulk's angrier, more militaristic cousin, all that raw power and rage, often been a major antagonist to the Hulk.
Yeah, and it's Harrison Ford playing him. I mean, he's usually the hero, the cool and collected guy. Do you think he can really unleash that inner rage monster?
I don't know. It's definitely a bold casting choice, and that's what makes it so intriguing. I think Ford's screen presence and his ability to play characters with hidden depths will make for a truly captivating Red Hulk.
Yeah, I'm really curious to see how that plays out. Screen Rant even had the super cool Screen X poster with Captain America and Red Hulk like facing off. Can you imagine that on the big screen?
Oh man, that's going to be epic.
But it doesn't sound like Brave New World is just going to be about superhero brawls. From what I'm seeing in these articles, it sounds like it's going to be more of a political thriller too.
Right. Yeah, definitely leaning into that. Screen Crush especially. They're talking about international incidents.
Yeah.
And Sam Wilson's Captain America going head to head with the U.S. president.
Yeah.
Who just happens to be Thunderbolt Ross.
Oh, wow. That's going to be intense. It kind of reminds me of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which had that political thriller aspect and was a massive hit.
Yeah, it's an interesting parallel for sure. And the directors even mentioned films like All the President's Men as inspiration. So we might be seeing some themes of truth, power, abuse of authority, much like the Watergate scandal, but with a superhero twist, of course.
Oh man, intrigue, conspiracies, and superheroes. What more could you ask for? This is going to be a wild ride. But there's one more detail that really caught my eye. Remember that giant celestial corpse from Eternals?
Oh yeah, how could we forget that?
Yeah, well, it seems like that massive dead space god is somehow connected to Brave New World. Both articles are hinting at it.
That's where things get really interesting. Now, for anyone who needs a quick refresher, the Celestials are these ancient, incredibly powerful beings, essentially cosmic creators, responsible for shaping life in the universe as we know it. Their power is almost unimaginable, even in death.
So why is their corpse such a big deal? In the context of this movie, could it be the source of Red Hulk's powers? Or is there some international conflict over its resources, maybe?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The articles don't give us all the answers. But it's fun to speculate. I mean, the presence of a celestial corpse on Earth would undoubtedly have massive implications. Maybe it's a source of power. Maybe it's a weapon. Or maybe it's a threat that only Captain America can handle.
Yeah, it's like they're weaving together all these different threads. A new Captain America, a Red Hulk, a political thriller plotline, and now a connection to the Celestials and Eternals. What does it all mean?
Well, it really speaks to the ambition of Marvel Studios, and how they continue to evolve their storytelling. They're building on these established characters and storylines, like passing the shield to a new Captain America and all the fallout from Eternals. But they're also introducing fresh elements that expand the universe in exciting new directions.
Yeah, it's like they're constantly adding new layers to this epic saga. Speaking of layers, let's talk about the title of this movie, Brave New World. What do you think it signifies?
Ooh, that's a great question. It's clearly playing on Aldous Huxley's novel,
Right.
which paints a pretty dystopian picture of this seemingly perfect, but ultimately controlled society. But in the context of the MCU, it could have a more nuanced meaning.
So are we talking like a positive or negative thing here? Is it a world where Sam Wilson's Captain America has ushered in a new era of peace and progress? Or is it more of a cautionary tale?
I think it's going to be a mix of both, honestly. Remember, this movie is drawing inspiration from political thrillers, like All the President's Men, which dealt with themes of corruption and abuse of power. And with Thunderbolt Ross, a figure known for his hardline stance. As president, it suggests that this brave new world might not be all that brave or new after all.
Yeah, especially if he's also the Red Hulk, like a being of pure rage and power. It's interesting to think about the contrast between him and Sam Wilson, who represents a more compassionate and idealistic approach to leadership. Seems like there's going to be some serious clash of ideologies there.
Absolutely. And that conflict could be at the heart of what Brave New World represents. It could be about the struggle between different visions of the future, between those who want to control and those who want to liberate. Order versus chaos.
Okay, so we've got a new Captain America, a Red Hulk president, a political thriller plotline, a mysterious connection to the Celestials, and a title that hints at a complex and potentially conflicted future. Where do we even go from here?
Well, let's not forget the human element, too. This is still a story about characters we care about, and their personal journeys are going to be just as important as the big world-ending stakes. We'll see Sam Wilson grappling with the challenges of being Captain America, dealing with the legacy of Steve Rogers, and facing down threats, both internal and external. And then there's Thunderbolt Ross, a man struggling with his own demons, transforming into this creature of immense power, and potentially losing himself in the process.
And we can't forget Liv Tyler's returning as Betty Ross, and Giancarlo Esposito's playing a new villain. I mean, they're not just throwing big names into this for the sake of it. It feels like each character has a role to play in this unfolding drama.
Exactly, and their interactions, their alliances, their betrayals, all of that's going to be fascinating to watch. It's like a Shakespearean drama playing out on a cosmic scale.
I'm already on the edge of my seat. So with all these pieces in play, what do you think is the biggest question we should be asking ourselves as we wait for Brave New Wayne to hit theaters?
I think the most important question is, what kind of world are we building for ourselves? The film seems to be exploring the choices we make, the leaders we follow, and the consequences of those actions. Are we heading towards a brighter future? Or are we repeating the mistakes of the past? And how do we navigate the complexities of a world where power can corrupt even the best of intentions?
It's a lot to ponder. But that's what makes this so exciting. It's not just mindless entertainment. It's a story that makes us think about the world around us and our place in it. But for a moment, let's just imagine the pure spectacle of this movie. Think about it. We've got Anthony Mackie as Captain America, like soaring through the sky.
Oh, yeah.
Harrison Ford as Red Hulk, smashing his way through obstacles. And this backdrop of political intrigue and global conspiracies, all tied together by the mystery of that massive celestial corpse. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
It's going to be a visual feast for sure. But what I'm really excited about is the potential for this film to challenge our expectations. We're used to seeing Captain America fight for freedom and justice. But what happens when those ideals clash with the realities of a world on the brink? And what happens when the very people in power become the biggest threat?
Yeah, it's like, this is more than just another superhero movie. It's a story that asks us to consider what we believe in and how far we're willing to go to protect those beliefs.
Yeah.
And it forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that sometimes the line between hero and villain isn't so clear.
Right. And that's where the title Brave New World becomes so intriguing. It's not just a catchy phrase. It's a question we have to ask ourselves. What kind of world are we creating? And are we brave enough to face the consequences of our actions?
So we've covered a lot of ground today. New Captain America, Red Hulk president, political thriller plotline, mysterious connection to the Celestials. What's the main takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as we count down the days until Brave New World hits theaters on February 14th?
I think the biggest takeaway is that this movie is going to be more than just a superhero spectacle. It's a chance to really engage with some thought-provoking themes, consider different perspectives, and question what it means to be a hero in a world facing some unprecedented challenges.
It's definitely a movie that's going to spark a lot of conversations. So to our listeners out there, as you get ready for Captain America, Brave New World, here's something to ponder. Given what we know about the themes and characters, what kind of Brave New World do you think this movie will depict? Is it optimistic, dystopian, or somewhere in between?
We've only scratched the surface here. There are still so many mysteries to unravel. But that's the beauty of it. We get to speculate, theorize, Let our imaginations run wild until the movie finally arrives.
And who knows, maybe our deep dive has given you some clues to help you decipher the brave new world that awaits. So until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and inspire. Keep diving deep into the worlds that fascinate you.